to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Beagle,
I'm here.
Deputy Mayor Gotchel,
Here.
Councilmember Behrman,
Present.
Councilmember Grunland Fox,
Here.
Councilmember Kennedy,
Here.
Councilmember O'Day,
Here.
Councilmember Simmons.
Here.
We have quorum.
Thank you. Changes or additions to the agenda tonight as presented. City Manager Brown.
Mayor, I have no changes or additions.
Assistant City Manager Benson.
I have none, sir.
Any from the dais? Very good. Moves us on to approval of minutes. We've got one set of minutes to approve tonight, and that's from the regular City Council meeting of April 14th, 2026. Do I have a motion?
Support.
Thank you. Any discussion? I got a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the regular City Council meeting of April 14th, 2026. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We got two items of correspondence tonight. One is for the notice of hearing for the customers of DTE Electric case number U-21595, and notice of hearing for the customers of DTE Electric case U-22067. And that moves us on to the call to the public. I'll read the rules for the call to the public. They are as follows. The public shall address the council during the call to the public, which shall be included on the agenda immediately after correspondence and again immediately after new business. The first call to the public immediately after correspondence shall be limited to agenda items only. A person shall not address the council in excess of 5 minutes unless the time is extended by a majority vote of the council present. Persons wishing to address the council shall identify themselves and their place of residence and shall state their reason for addressing the council. And all comments by the public shall be made directly to the council. Do we have anybody for the first call to the public? Seeing none, I'll close the first call to the public and we'll move on to city managers' reports. We have the departmental reports from March 2026. Any questions? Councilmember Grunland Fox?
Thank you. I have a question regarding the water report, please.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. So on page 12 of the report, I don't know if you have it with you or not, but the PFOIA and the PFAS, I think it was just a typo, but it looks like the results were left out, and it said they were above normal, but it doesn't say what they were. Unless the bottom is what they are.
The bottom is what they are. That line is incorrectly in there. I apologize for the typo. This was from a prior report, and this is entirely my fault for missing that line. The numbers are correct. It happened at a previous monthly operating report where there was the reporting numbers that they gave us. So when a lab runs a number, the equipment is only capable of going down to a certain level. And below that, they have to qualify the result and saying, we can only give you the result up to this. Below this, the equipment does not give you results. They had one during one of the previous sessions that was not at the state level minimum. So it could have easily been interpreted as us exceeding our limit. So I called them back and asked them to rerun it. The results were better. It's just sometimes PFAS interferes with different compounds on its own. So I believe I can find which report was previously and reference that for you.
Can you tell me if, and that's fine as long as, where are we at now as of this?
I haven't gotten the April results yet. The numbers that are on here that you see on the report are the correct March ones. I just forgot to remove the line from there.
Oh, okay, okay.
The line that says results for March 3rd, 2026 were above the normal reporting limits. That line shouldn't be in there.
Okay.
In grammar.
So we're good?
We're good.
Okay, thank you. That's
You're
what I
welcome.
wanted to know.
Councilmember Behrman?
Thank you. I think my question is for Drew, but it's his report and maybe the planning report. There seems to be a lot of activity in the property behind Amazon, James Logistics, a lot of big trucks going in and out. I know last year they were doing crushing back there, but that's not happening this year. What's going on back there? Why are they moving so much earth?
Our understanding is that basically they're finishing up the cleanup from the concrete crushing, but also the cleanup from the brownfield. So When the concrete crushing ended, they still had some grading to do, and they have an open grading permit with us to that end. In the end, they had a berm or two, basically piles of dirt that were contaminated that still needed to go off-site. So that is my understanding of what they're doing, is basically they're finishing up the grading.
Thank you. My second question was just an update on our contract for our city signs. It seems to be like that's sort of at a standstill now for about a month.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to get out and about this week, but my understanding is the next phase of signs will be right-of-way signs within the city's right-of-ways. So they'll be smaller and less noticeable. I know they've been moving dirt because they've been doing a couple drops over at DPW. So those would be like our secondary gateways on like West Maple as an example would be one of them. Some of the downtown directionals, those kind of things. The last signs, and they are taking the longest to get approved, are all of the signage that will be in the Oakland County right-of-ways. Those permits have been submitted and are under review, but we have not gotten authorization for them yet. So they'll take the longest. They should be in, I'd like to say within the next month or two, but it will depend on where we get with the road commission.
Yeah, they were able to get permits to put sidewalks in for all these bus stops in under a week. Just seems interesting.
It's funny how that works.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Very good. We'll move on to the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the items will be removed from the consent agenda and added to the regular agenda at the end of unfinished or new business. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Support.
I got motion and support to approve the consent agenda as presented tonight. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We have no unfinished business tonight, which we'll move on to the new business portion of the meeting tonight. New business number 1 is a recommendation to accept the bid from Hartwell Cement Company of Oak Park, Michigan for sidewalk replacement and road upgrades for $100,000 from Safety Path Construction account number 223-555-971.390 and $150,000 from Concrete Industrial Road Repairs account number 203-554-971.399. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Support.
All right. City Manager Brown, you want to take this along with DPW? Now he's a foreman, longtime employee at DTBW, now a foreman. Russ Pearson, if you guys want to take team on this.
Be fine. So to get started, we've got two different aspects of this project that's before you tonight with new business number 1. It's the sidewalk project, which is details how the city goes about identifying needs across the city. And then it basically spells out that we're not going to have the list of individual sidewalk pieces put together here until we really kind of piece it all together and come up with the maximum amount of benefit and the maximum use of the dollars available that we have budgeted. So that's still in process, but we've done the different evaluations to identify trip hazards and drainage concerns on that front. And then there's a series of road upgrades in business sections of the town, if you will, that is going to be done with the $150,000 from the road repairs account. And that's pretty much the extent of my remarks, so I'll defer to Russ Pearson if he's got anything he'd like to add. No.
Any questions? Man,
Wow.
we got to have at least one question for him.
What do you think the Lions draft, brother? It's not. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Russ. All right. I got a motion and a second to approve the recommendation to accept the bid from Hartwell Cement Company of Oak Park, Michigan for sidewalk replacement and road upgrades for $100,000 from Safety Path Construction account number 223-555-971.390 and $150,000 from Concrete Industrial Road Repairs account number 203-554-971.399. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we're on to new business number 2, which is a recommendation to award the bid for West End Commons construction to DA Contracting LLC of Southfield, Michigan for a construction cost including contingency and furnishings of $1,000,000 $118,802 and authorize a proposal for construction engineering services from Hubble Roth and Clark for $180,000 for a total project non-to-exceed cost of $1,298,802 from West End Commons Capital Account Number 401-751-971.547, as recommended by the Downtown Development Authority. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All right, along with Drew tonight, we've got the DDA Director, Laura Cloutier here, Mike Darga from HRC. Guys, take it over.
Yeah, we brought the whole gang out tonight. Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. Before you tonight is the request to, or recommendation to award the bid for the West End Commons. I won't go through all of the components of the West End Commons. I know we've talked about it, multiple times, but this would essentially be a pocket park that includes a variety of hardscape features, a small kind of stage area, gathering spaces, as well as a prefabricated bathroom. And we did include the plans in your packet. Happy to answer any questions you may have about those specifications. I'll focus a little bit more just on the numbers here. I know there are a lot of them, and some of them are a little bit confusing. The reason for that is that we worked very hard to attribute costs that came in for the bids on this to the various grant sources that we have available for this. As mentioned in the report, the United States federal government is contributing $738,000 to this, and Oakland County, via their ARPA funding, is contributing $206,000, and the Wixom DDA would be covering the balance via their TIF capture. The bid that we are recommending tonight is to go forward with DA Contracting. They were the second low bidder. However, in our conversations with the lowest bidder, we had some concerns with their proposal, how they proposed it, and they were not responsive to the extent that we needed them to be to feel comfortable recommending them to you. So conversations with the second low bidder have gone well. Mr. Darger can speak to those conversations as well. The number one thing I want to point out is that everyone's bid amount includes a charge for sewer lining. That was a piece added to the scope of work that is not eligible for grant funding, but was requested because this was a good opportunity to at least consider pricing to line the sewer main that runs underneath the West End Commons. Since the ground is already going to be disturbed, we at least wanted to explore if there would be cost savings there. After getting pricing in for all of them, the DPW determined that they didn't think that any of the prices offered, or at least the low one, was worthwhile to pursue at this time. So right off the bat, that 1.137390 bid number would be reduced by $118,000. So that's the first piece of confusing math, but just to kind of, and it's explained a little bit further down, but I want to point that out on the front side. We will not be proceeding with that, and we will not be charged for that service. So moving forward, basically there are three primary cost components of the recommendation before you tonight. There is the request for the construction and contingency cost, which would be $1,098,000. That $98,000 includes the $80,000 that's referenced as a contingency, which would be charged to the DDA. Again, that was all, this has been set up intentionally to try to maximize the use of grant funds as opposed to maximizing the use of local funds. So you'll notice that the contingency and the engineering are all allocated towards the DDA's portion of the project, whereas more of the hard costs, the fixed aspects of this construction project, are allocated towards our grant funding sources. The second piece is that there is a $20,293 portion of this for West End Commons furnishings. We are seeking authorization to buy those furnishings in line with the original plan, but those are not through DA Contracting. Again, I didn't want to make your motion have so many pieces that it would be unreadable, but I want to be clear about what we're requesting authorization for tonight. And then the third piece is the engineering component, which is a proposal from Hubble, Roth and Clark, who did the design work for us. They've helped us with all of the grant administration to this point to basically have them do the construction, observation, and contractor management for us. Their proposal also includes a pretty substantial contingency, and it also includes some funds for the grant administration. All of those kind of pieces put together, we do believe this project came in under budget through bidding. We anticipate that it will going forward, and we're trying to gear as much of those savings as we can towards the DDA and their TIF capture. With that in mind, I imagine there may be questions, but we are happy to try to answer them however we can.
Councilmember Behrman?
Thank you. First and foremost, I support the project. I think the bids that came in for the construction aspect seem all in line, and I respect the decision to go with the second lowest. I understand the signage component. What I don't understand is the engineering component, because traditionally engineering to oversee construction is around 10%, and this one seems to be substantially above that. And then it's just fishy to me that by the time you add the one component that wasn't bid out, it just comes in under budget by $238. It's like they just looked at the budget and said, we can go up to the budget amount. And I'd like to hear why this is more than 10%, which is usually your ballpark for engineering.
I'll let Mike speak, but I want to make it clear that it was our recommendation to have them put the contingency in to get from 147 to the 180, right? We want to be able, we're presenting this as what we recommended as. I do not believe they anticipate, you're coming in at the 147 number. You can talk how you got to that.
It's just when something like this isn't bid out, it's a lot of money, and I don't necessarily think that this is a project that should have been bid out, given the fact they already did the design engineering. But when they're so much above the 10%, it just gives me a little bit of second guessing on it. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Most of it's easily explainable. I'll try my best here. There's some components that we still have to work with the contractor and decide what they're going to do, like the fire feature. So that's going to be a lot of review time on our end, and it's unknown what we're going to need to do during construction of it, because we don't know what it is yet. So that plays into it. Some of the extra money for the grant funding is in the contingency. If DDA needs help with submitting any of the grant documents. What else do we have?
And if we need additional help through ASTI, we have historically subcontracted through them. Again, there are components of this that we hadn't seen coming even when we were working through the first part. So that is why we're setting a contingency a little bit higher on the front side, because we don't know what we'll run into or what help HRC might need to help secure on our behalf. So we're seeking to get authorization up to the maximum amount that the grants, allowed us to. But we anticipate coming in well under that on the actual expense side.
I understand that discussion. I guess from my standpoint, I just see that we're approving a no bid contract substantially above 10%. So I just wanted a further explanation. But I think the grant issue and the unknown with the construction, it makes sense for the $30,000 swing. But that's the only reason why I even brought it up, is just because of being substantially higher than what we're used to seeing.
And this is spread over 2 construction seasons due to the bathroom install. That's not going to happen until next spring, 2027. So whenever you start a project back up, there's always startup costs and time and that type of stuff. So that there's a little bit of fluff in there. So that's probably where you're getting a little more percentage in there.
I appreciate the explanation.
And one last thing, just I want to make clear that we are billed based on the hours that they accrue, so it's not a flat fee. Some of the proposals we bring to you, we get billed the same amount no matter how many hours they do or don't put in. In this scenario, all of our billing with HRC is they submit invoices with the actual hours accrued. So oftentimes we come in under, sometimes it's close, sometimes we've needed to do amendments with council before, but just I want to make that piece clear too.
Thank you.
We good? Okay, I'm going to go down. Councilmember Grellen Fox.
So I have 2 questions, but the first is regarding this DA Contracting LLC. I mean, I'm confident that everybody did their due diligence in who they picked. I mean, I kind of laughed actually when I was looking at the pictures because the examples that they gave are homes and different buildings, but you'd think they would have given an example of some type of pocket park that they would have done. Do they have experience doing this type of project?
I'll defer to Mike. He's talked to them more than I have, but my understanding is not a ton of this specific type of project.
Well, if you look at all their pictures, a lot of it is landscape beds and brick work and concrete work, which is what this project is. So, in talking to them, that is what they've done. They have a lot of car washes on here, and those have been popping up everywhere, and look like the nice brick ones. So they manage similar type of construction.
Okay, so you're confident that they're
Yes.
good? Okay. And then my other question, thank you. My other question is, will this area, our Parks and Rec staff be programming that area as well, along with the DDA?
The intent is that the DDA would do the primary programming. Parks and Rec would have every opportunity and ability to. It's a city-owned piece of property being, with the construction being funded by the DDA. In the short run, I anticipate the DDA will do more with it, but there are certainly opportunities for Parks and Rec to take advantage of it as well.
And they do work together?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, super. Thank you.
Councilmember Simmons?
Thank you. I'm obviously in support of the project. The one question I had, and thanks for answering my questions earlier regarding the budget and all the things, was the note on the bocce ball court. And are these final plans, or should we expect changes from them?
These are the final plans. I think I may have made a mistake when I was rewriting the agenda items because sometimes I'll base them on older versions. Like I noticed a section where I said public or permanent or temporary restroom. It's a permanent one. In past discussions that wasn't confirmed. So in the short run, and Laura, correct me if I'm wrong here, but there is no bocce ball intended. It's not being constructed as a part of this, but we may be able to use do temporary setups. Laura can speak to the programming aspect.
Yeah, originally we envisioned a bocce ball court there, and through discussions with past councils and DDA, we have decided not to pursue that. We will program it with like cornhole boards and those type of activities that can be taken in and out.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Councilmember O'Day?
Thank you. Real quick, don't go far. No, just a simple one. And maybe this has already been discussed prior to my arriving on council, but have any sponsorship type opportunities been discussed? I know I see here we have like brick pavers, for if folks wanted to pay for something like that, or, just in the rendering, I know there's not a lot, it doesn't look like there's a lot of like permanent structures, like bench-wise or something that folks might have a placard on or something, but has it been?
Yeah, that has been brought up. We've not really gone in depth to see what that might look like for this space, but it is something that we can probably explore while we're going through the process.
Okay.
Yeah, and a part of the furnishings not being fixed structures, you want movable furniture so people can gather and create their own spaces and, feel comfortable. So.
Deputy Mayor Gatchell?
Thank you. Can you share a little bit more about, I guess, the issues with why we're not going with the lowest bidder?
Yeah, and again, Mike can help with this, but essentially, in their original proposal, they did not bid the bathroom the same way that everyone else did per the specifications included in the RFP. We did work with them over, I'd say, 2-3 weeks to try and clarify and get them to be able to commit, hey, can you do what's outlined in the RFP for the price that you've written? And they said they could, but they didn't really verify it to an extent that we felt comfortable with. You want to add anything, Mike?
No, that's pretty much it. the restroom that they were looking at was more of just a metal structure. And the company that, when we looked on their website, they do like guard shacks and stuff. So that's not what was in the specs. The specs are the same restroom that is in Gunner Metalla Park. It's a, concrete structure, just, probably top of the line.
And one of the things that's, I think, important there, we talked about it at the Gunner Metalla installation, how damage resistant it will turn out to be, and a metal building sounds exactly the opposite of that. I don't see that being damage resistant. I see that being very prone to being damaged by people that want to damage it. So that's a key difference as far as I'm concerned, and that's why it's more expensive.
Well, it also created an equity issue with if everyone else bid it the way that we asked for it to be bid, but then they bid it a completely separate way. Now you've created an apples to oranges scenario for comparison. And then finally, I just think the interactions and communications we had with them in trying to get those questions addressed made us uncomfortable, when thinking about how that could look, over a 6-month construction project. So putting all those factors together, we decided to at least move on and have conversations with the second low bidder, and we felt a lot more comfortable with them.
So we gave them a chance or we asked them if they would build what we wanted, and they said they would, but we weren't happy with, I guess.
Well, they didn't confirm that in writing. They didn't back up how they were doing that or how that reflects into their bid. They weren't being responsive with detailed enough information for us to feel comfortable bringing that recommendation forward.
If you compare that steel building with what we were asking for, the cost factors are nowhere near the same, so I don't understand how they can do it for the same price. It just didn't compute.
How were they, was that the only cost difference, or were they, if we get rid of the bathroom from everybody's bid, how do they stack up? Or did we not look at it that way? Because I'm wondering, if we're not breaking ground immediately, it's a stretch to me to ask us to pay an extra, I think it was $125,000 was the difference. I understand it's not all our money, but it's a little bit of a stretch to not try and work it out or see if we can get them to do the bulk of the project and then we hire somebody else to just do the bathroom, whoever did Gunner Metalla the way we want. But I struggle with, hey, you didn't answer fast enough, or we're not happy enough, so let's spend an extra 6 figures on this. I would rather try and get it worked out, and if we can't, then we can vote on this again or split it up to see if there's cost savings that way. The other questions I had are kind of, I guess, re-referencing questions or comments I had made previously. The cafe chairs and tables look like they're the same ones, and we had talked a little bit about weight limits on those, and I didn't feel like those were appropriately sturdy enough. Are they?
The weight limit's up to 300 pounds.
Okay, so those have increased. Okay. And then the layout, I'm still not a giant fan of having the pavilion wall backing to the road. I just worry about safety concerns, like somebody being behind there, not being able to see the road, or people on the road not being able to see people that are behind there for whatever reason. I mean, we have people tossing rocks and concrete off of overpasses on the highway and hurting people, damaging vehicles. You never know what's going to be in somebody's head, and I don't feel like it's the best safety standpoint to put a tall brick wall at a corner that people can hide behind. Hopefully nothing would ever happen, but that layout, I think I had mentioned last time, I prefer that was on the other side of the circle, 180 degrees around, and I'm still kind of convinced of that. I do appreciate the chair weight limit increasing. I don't know if anybody else has any other comment.
Can I comment real quick?
Sure.
The reason we did not move that is because the opposite end of the property is narrower and the space provided where the stage is going to be allows for that size of stage and that design. We would lose a lot of space if we moved it to the opposite end of the property, because it is narrower.
No, sorry, I just mean in that same circular
Oh,
pad, just shifted to the other side of the circle, basically. So it'd still be
Oh.
on the west side, or the north side of the property, even though it's West End Commons, it'd be on the
Well,
north side.
I guess that ruins the ambiance of the open space and the connectivity from one seating plaza to the next.
I guess it's just a difference of opinion, because it also raises the other point of like, do we even need it? We have Sibley Park across the street for concerts, so I understand
Yeah.
wanting to, like, it's a design feature, but do we actually need it if it's gonna be a safety, security issue?
Well,
Who knows?
we don't know until we know, right?
Yep.
But one thing I will say is the businesses at that end of downtown, they do not see the impact of concerts. So activity on a
Sure.
stage, whether it's a lunchtime guitar, acoustic
Yep.
guitar player playing, it will benefit those businesses that don't see the Thursday night concert impact.
I don't disagree that that is a walk that I don't expect most people make.
Right.
I guess the counterpoint to like the ambiance of the openness is like, you're also partly cutting off the primary view for people on the road to wonder what's behind there.
Well, the wonderment will bring them in.
It,
So, and to go back to your comment about, are we doing this immediately? We need to break ground as soon as possible because we will lose construction season time. And for the Oakland County ARPA grant, we have to expend those funds by the end of this year. We have till 2032 to, I believe 2032, to expend the federal dollars. So we need to get moving on this as soon as possible.
that's fine. Like I understand the 2 or 3 weeks. To me, it's worth, if we can get an answer by next meeting or see if we can split it up and save money. Like, I feel like maybe we haven't checked every box to get to, yes, let's spend $125,000 more. That's, I guess, where
I mean, my understanding is that the contractor really, as Drew has indicated, he was not responsive in his, our request.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He-
well, and we talked for it's been 4 weeks since the bid opening, so, I mean, we've been in conversation for about a month.
Yeah.
If that was the direction of the entirety of council, that's the direction we can go. At this point, this is our recommendation, and, you guys you have every ability to act how you see fit.
Was that, I mean, do we have something like line item wise in, or I assume we do, since that's the sticking point here between lowest bidder and second lowest bidder. I mean, I asked a question earlier, how did they stack up on the rest of the project? Is that something that is accessible? Like we can say, excluding the restroom situation, they were still the lowest, or were they the lowest because of the restroom situation not being as we bid?
We don't know that because their price for the restroom was like $50,000 and everyone else was like $200,000. So I think if we do the math, I think the second bidder is gonna be lower than the low bidder because of that, but I don't know if that's a fair comparison. Because you're not comparing the same.
I'm saying if we take the bathroom out of all of the bids,
Right. But
where do we fall?
the people that bid it correctly have a higher price for the bathroom, so their number's gonna drop way down. And their number for the bathroom was so low that they're not gonna drop much.
That's what I'm wondering
Yeah.
though, like,
Right.
are they low because of that?
Yeah,
Or if,
they are. Because,
that's the only reason though? Like,
Yeah.
if we get rid of the bathroom, they're not the lowest.
correct.
By
We
how
did
much?
include a copy of the line-by-line bid tab in here, trying to get to it.
So basically, the lowest bid didn't bid properly with the RFP, correct?
Correct.
So then why would we even put this on the list?
Correct.
because they didn't meet the criteria. So, basically, the lowest bid is the one we're going with, correct?
Yes, that's a perspective, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
We do have the ability to disqualify incomplete or inaccurate bids.
Okay.
Sorry, we said after HRC, there's a table laying out different pay rates for different people, but
Yes,
It's at lines 39 and 40.
Correct.
So if you add those two up, that's $72,000, and you compare and contrast that with the next lowest bidder at 305, that's,
310, yeah.
yeah, that's a substantial difference, and would result in them no longer being a low bid if they were apples to apples. That's making some assumptions, but
Other,
$72,000 versus 310 on the second lowest bidder. And put it in the 240 neighborhood, which would make them the lower bidder by a substantial amount compared to the original company that was lowest bidder. Even if you included anything in the ballpark, it would be substantially lower bid.
I don't know if there's any other.
Very quick financial analysis, so.
You sure? You come back to you guys.
Yeah, I'm just.
Okay, Councilmember O'Day?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to put it out there that I definitely do not want to kick this down the road any further in light of the bid. I think we have great proposals in front of us tonight, and I want to vote on them tonight. 2 more weeks out gets us into mid-May. We have, as you indicated, grant implications with the county, and just the overall getting the project started. It's been my experience in my career, after reviewing many bids, RFPs, things of that nature, the lowest bid is not always the best bid. It's kind of like the Olympics, kick out the lowest and the highest, and then go from there. And if a company isn't responsive when they're courting your business, it's been my experience, it gets even worse once they've secured it. So I would like to just move on this tonight.
Councilmember Simmons?
Thank you. Since you're up here, the question that I thought of after we, again, I'm coming in green to this, so I'm not sure how much council has had, but since you're here, the question I had was on the fireplace location. I see it on the plans, but I don't see it on the top view rendering. Is it correct to say, and we don't have anything to point to for you, so is it correct to say that it's next to the stage area on?
It's within the stage area plaza.
Okay.
If you're facing drafting table and you're facing the stage, it would be slightly over to the left of the X.
I see it in one rendering view.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm understanding just why we're here. That's weird.
No worries.
The rendering and the location are not showing it in the same spot, the top view of what I'm seeing, unless it's just the ply line, but, so can you tell me where it is?
So if you're looking at the stage, and you have the X, the center of the seating plaza, it's slightly over to the left of the X, but closer to the end of the seating plaza, if that makes sense.
Okay. Is it designed for people to sit all the way around it?
Yes, people can sit around.
Okay. And just while I have the mic, the other concern, I think, on not even knowing the full scope, just as what I do in my day job, the first bid, the electrical quote seemed extremely low too. So I'm comfortable moving forward with DA.
Councilmember Garland Fox, you're welcome.
Thank you. Do we, it's probably not a fair question, but do we know what the bathroom cost over at the last one that we did? Thank you.
Yeah, I had a lip reading course and in action, it's $225,000. 325?
325.
325.
That was just a restructure, not really.
That was a larger, that was
Going
not
once,
that
going
was
twice.
larger. Yeah, that was a larger one. 325 for the larger one.
Okay, but this one won't be,
Ours,
much smaller.
Ours is much smaller.
Yeah, it's much smaller, so that's why the difference in price.
But this one also does include the cost of having to install the utilities alongside it, where the Gunnar Metallo one already had them. So there's a little bit of an inflated cost on that component of it, but in aggregate, yeah, prefab is less expensive.
Yeah, that's why it's listed in the bids in at 39 and 40, I should say.
so even if we, which I'm not in favor of going with the low bidder, if they, I agree with Councilmember O'Day, if they didn't respond to us when we put out the RFP, what are they going to be like if we were to use them? And who knows, maybe they'd be great, but that's just not a good sign for me. But even if we were, I mean, it looks like the difference is roughly $124,000. It would cost more than that to do the bathroom anyway, right?
Correct. Yep.
So, okay, thank you.
Anybody else? You good? All right, very good. I too, I am in very much support of this. I'm glad to see it's happening. This is just going to be another jewel that we have in our city, and not only is it going to benefit the residents, but you know, with the airline trail, people can ride their bikes, and they got a place to meet and things like that. But, and my favorite spot, I think, is X marks the spot. X is the place to live, to work, and play. So I think that's very cool, and thank you guys to the DDA for all your hard work on this project. And with that, I got a motion and a second to approve the recommendation to award the bid for the West End Commons construction to DA Contracting LLC of Southfield, Michigan for construction cost, including contingency and furnishings of $1,118,802, and authorize a proposal for construction engineering from Hubble Roth and Clark for $180,000 for a total project not to exceed cost of $1,298,802 from West End Commons capital account number 401-751-971.547 as recommended by the Downtown Development Authority. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Get those shovels ready for us to break ground. And that concludes the new business portion of our meeting tonight. It brings us to the second call to the public. I'll read those rules again. The public shall address the council during the call to the public, which shall be included on the agenda immediately after correspondence and again immediately after new business. The first call to the public immediately after correspondence shall be limited to agenda items only. A person shall not address the council in excess of 5 minutes unless the time is extended by a majority vote of council present. Persons wishing to address the council shall identify themselves and their place of residence and shall state their reason for addressing the council, and all comments by the public shall be made directly to the council. Do we have anybody for the second call to the public? Seeing none, I'll close the second call of the public and move on. City manager's comments. City Manager Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just had the celebration of work anniversaries in the city manager update this council meeting. We range from 1 year to 22 years from Kelly Burr in Parks and Recreation and John Bartel in DPW. So congratulations and thank you to all the employees celebrating those work anniversaries. And that's all that I had in my report this evening, Your Honor.
Very good. City Manager Benson, anything?
Beyond what's included in my monthly report, I would just say the Downtown Wixom Derby Day is this Saturday. Those of you who are running or volunteering, we'll see you there. If you weren't planning on going, you should come by. It's a good time. Laura and the team. Record number of registrants as well this year.
We're at 467 last year. We had a total of 453. We are expected to be over 500.
So something to look forward to on Saturday. And that's all I have.
Very good. Council comments. Councilmember Behrman.
Thank you to the DPW for cleaning up Mag Park. It looks already a little bit better. It'd be nice when the grass starts to grow.
Good. Councilmember Kennedy.
Good job to the DDA for putting this together. It looks really nice. I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Councilmember Simmons.
Just looking forward to Derby Day. I will not be running, but I will be there in full support, cheering on those choosing to subject themselves to that. And I did have a comment that I forgot, so I'll leave it at that.
All right, very good. Councilmember O'Day.
Thank you. Just to congratulate ahead of time the runners upcoming weekend, and already a lot of thanks to the volunteers. I shouldn't say already, the work has already been happening, but then that much more on Saturday and the whole weekend. I'm sure it's going to be lovely. I will not be able to attend. I will be watching my daughter become a Wolverine alumni that day. So, but I know it will be fabulous.
Very good. Go Blue. Councilmember Grenlund Fox.
I'd like to thank all of those employees that are celebrating their work anniversaries. 22 years, that's great. All the way down to 1 year. Who is the 1 year person, just out of curiosity?
She works in Parks and Recreation with Kathy Venegas.
Oh, okay, great. That's awesome. Thank you.
Good. Deputy Mayor Gaccio.
Thank you. Relating to the work anniversaries list, I was hoping we can update Brian Callis's length of service for next year. I know I had mentioned it last year. He's been serving in the fire department a lot longer than 2 years. I know he took a little break because of old leadership issues, but I think, I hope we can kind of recognize how long he's actually been serving our residents. Thank you.
Thanks. And I just want to thank everybody who is celebrating a work anniversary also. And I'll see everybody at the Derby Day. And if we do have the frost like we have, we do have a Derek Kever, the weatherman from Channel or Fox 2 there, so we can voice our complaints to him personally. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Support.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Good night, everybody.